What is up, guys? Oh my god. Level 2 Gaming here.
Just giving it to you, man.
That's not the first time I've heard that. Level 2 Gaming here.
I feel like it might be.
God! Damn. Anyways,
Keegan
as you
just
can't
got
tell,
owned by
I'm
Beaver.
trying to do the intro and play at the same time, and it's not going well. So I'm going to do the intro, then get into the game. What's up, guys?
Hi.
We're here again. Yay. We're playing Donkey Kong Country. We
DK.
are on the ice world, as you can tell.
Yeah, it sucks. This has been my least favorite.
Since you've stopped playing, though, it's gone a little bit quicker.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very much just enjoying watching at this point. I'm sat here smoking and just watching Keegan, go on a rampage, swapping controllers every time one of them dies.
Or trying to do the tap out. But anyways, last episode, Tom talked about how because obviously he's from England, he's not from here, and how he got here. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story, because it's not as cool, because I did live in another country, but I didn't necessarily come here for love. I came here because my family moved here. Oh, I beat him, ready? This is what I do. Boom! But anyway, so I've lived, I want to say 9 states, maybe. I'm going to save, because God knows I don't need to do that again. I want to say 9 states. I'll count them in a second. But basically, long story short, I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Lived there, I think, 9 months or so. I'll start by prefacing all this. I'm not a military brat. My dad works in the music industry, and that kind of is what facilitates us moving around. Just, going where the money is. Getting better jobs, moving up the ladder, rank.
Yeah, Keegan's dad is kind of a big deal.
Not really.
I think
he's about 5'5".
Well,
sorry, Dad. Whoa.
I'm 5'4". It's okay.
This does something, but I'm not sure what. Anyway, story of me. I keep getting. Oh, that's what it does.
You have the worst attention.
It's really hard to play and talk, though.
So you grew up in Grand.
I was born
Rapids,
in
Michigan.
Born in Grand Rapids. We moved then to Phoenix, Arizona for a few years. I don't know how long actually, because at this point I was 1, so I don't know as much about that. Once we moved from Arizona, we then moved to Southern California, which was awesome. I kind of remember that a little bit.
I'm a big fan of California.
You just got back from a trip not too long ago from there.
Yeah, I've been there twice in the last year or two, and I love it there, man. It's hot, but it's so nice.
So we used to live in Orange County when we lived there. Lovely place, as Tom says. Like, the weather, you can't really beat the weather. Everything's stupid expensive, though. I mean, houses are... Oh, damn it. Next banana. Houses are like $500,000, a million homes, but they're not. If you're anywhere else, it'd be like 150, 200,000 maybe. But anyway, so I moved to Southern California. We lived there for about 4.5, 5 years, I believe. And this is where I'm going to start telling more side stories, because this is what I remember. We then moved to Woodstock, New Brunswick, Canada.
Not Woodstock as in like the festival, because that was...
It's named after, not named after festival, but it's the same name, just not because of that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So that wasn't where they held Woodstock.
No, Woodstock was in New York.
Okay.
I don't remember what I do with this.
Jump over the fire?
No, I can push it through. I think I just lost it. Okay. But anyways, Woodstock. So we moved to Woodstock in 1996, I believe. I was in kindergarten when we moved there. So, sometime in the mid-90s. I think that's what I needed it for. And lived there for about, I think I said in our thing, 6 years. My family actually corrected me after a trailer and said it was 7 years. But lived there for 7 years. Grew up there. Awesome time. I played a lot of sports, and a lot of the guys that I played sports or would have played sports with if I had stayed ended up winning a bunch of high school championships in basketball, which is...
That's cool.
It's kind of cool.
I'm glad they had that opportunity while you were not on.
We probably wouldn't have won it if I was there. That's probably the way it would have gone. But no, we lived there. Roughly, like I said, I'd say 6 years, but apparently it was 7. My brother was born there. My brother is actually Canadian. People think I'm Canadian, but I'm not.
He's kind of Canadian.
My screen name, if you guys remember AOL, do you remember AOL?
I remember AOL.
My screen name for the longest time was Michiganadian, because people think I'm Canadian. I think I needed it there. But I'm not, so I'm from Michigan, so I was like, you know what? We're going to call myself Michiganadian, because it made sense.
So anyone that still uses AIM...
they actually defunct it.
Oh.
Not too long ago.
I thought that would have been fun.
They shut down the servers. But Michiganadian was... Oh, jeez. Was my username. But the reason I had to switch from that was because I couldn't spell it. How do you think you spell Michiganadian?
I don't know. It's a made-up word. You tell me.
It is. I
However
know.
you want to be spelled, right?
I was just like, what the hell? And then, well, the best was trying to get my friends to find me. Like, yeah, Michiganadian 5. Just find me. And they're like, I don't know how to spell that. I was like, well,
you could have shortened it. You didn't have to do like the whole of Michigan. It could be like Michadian or something like that.
I know, but I was like
too
6, 7 at the time.
You were using AIM when you were 7?
It was elementary school. If
I
remember,
think
you're a
I don't think
lot
I
older
even
than
had
I
a
am.
computer. I guess that was probably because there wasn't a lot of computers.
Computers weren't a thing.
Nah, not really. I mean, they were, but like not like a household thing.
Yeah.
I literally remember when computers started to be like a household object.
Oh God.
Anyway, continue with your story.
My
You are
first
sidetracked, sir.
Sorry, my first computer was actually Windows 95, and I remember being in our basement, our second house in Canada, being in our basement because my dad had this awesome, huge, like L-shaped executive-style desk. And the first game I remember playing, oh, look at him. The first game I remember playing, and I'm sure you'll remember this, is the skiing game. I can't remember what it's called.
The one with the big Yeti they got?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can never win. But
forget
that
what
game,
it's
I played that for hours. And then we got Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Adventures or something was the other game I remember spending hours on. But my first computer was Windows 95, and that was again 95. I was 4 years old, so I grew up with computers. But getting back to, oh my God, that was way faster. How the hell does it like pause at one point?
I don't know.
Okay, it does. But anyways, so Canada, we lived there 6.5 years. I then moved to Austin, Texas for 4 months because we kind of wanted to get out of Canada for education. Oh my God, education reasons. The education system isn't bad in Canada. It just wasn't what my parents wanted it to be. They felt like I would be better, especially if I wanted to school in the U.S., which a lot of people did. It's better to go to an American high school.
That's weird to me. I always kind of consider American education to be one of the least better educational systems in the world.
Even with university?
Well, I guess not with the higher levels of education.
Because that was
the
their,
lower levels.
That was their thought was.
It's just packets now, isn't it? I mean, it might have been different then, but it's just like teach to the packet. I remember I've seen enough documentaries to kind of have that opinion anyway.
But no, so we moved back to my dad got a job, and we moved back to, got another job. We moved back to the States, Austin, Texas for 4 months.
Austin's supposed to be very
Worst 4 life months of my, yeah, people love Austin. I didn't. Me and my sister, like, my whole family, we kind of don't really talk about that section too much. It's not
talk about Austin.
It's not bad. It just wasn't a pleasurable time for all of us. I mean, one of the downsides to switching from a Canadian school to American school is education was so different in the two places that, like, my sister, who was in middle school, I believe at the time, had to retake like 7 classes just to get caught up. So like she was already behind, and it wasn't her fault. No fault of her own. Like, she's a straight A student. She ended up going to a really good school. She went to Hofstra, and it sucked. And I remember her being at the kitchen table struggling. I was struggling in school. I'm not the best student though, so it's not saying much when I struggle.
Is it an attention thing, just as a kind of? There you go.
But like for her, she's like I said, she's a really good student. So it's kind of, oh my God, kind of weird for her to not do well. So once we left Austin, I need to learn how to finish stories.
Yeah.
Once we left Austin, we then moved back to Southern California. And you ready for this one?
Sure.
So we moved back to California. The house we sold in California when we left the first time in '96, we sold for under like $300K or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't horrible for where we were. Year and a half later, we come back. The house is for sale right next door, which ours was, the one next door was a 1-story, ours was 2-story. We're in a gated community right by the golf course, all this kind of stuff, and we couldn't afford it because it was just way too expensive. It was over $1 million, I think, at that point, or close to $1 million. Can't remember.
So you sold a house
sold a
in
house
a neighborhood for $300,000, and then you couldn't buy one because they were $1 million when you came back.
Because they're not gonna find. Yeah, it was crazy, and we were just like, imagine if we kept that house. Like that's a $900,000 profit. Well, yeah. No, I can't do math. $700,000 profit. Not profit, but
this level never ends, does it?
It doesn't. Hey, got Kong though. We got 21 lives, which is always good. But so then we went to Texas. Wow, I'm in California already. We went to California, and then from California we moved to New York. We thought California. I mean, we move pretty much every 3 years if you haven't noticed. And my mom and dad were like, California is our last. He's just hanging on the edge. Our last move. We're not going to move again. My dad liked his job. He wasn't displeased or anything, but we got a job offer, a headhunter, because he's an executive, came after him, and basically said, hey, we want you. And I remember my mom telling me at the time that the job, when she read it, what the job was, she goes, that's your dad. Oh, because at SKB, which is where he used to work, it was good. It was a small company, about $1 million, $1.5 million. But the company he works for now is, I think, $130 million. Wow. And it's a cooler job. God, dang it.
Man.
I'm going to finish my story and we're going to end the episode. So, we moved to New York, which is where my parents still live. And then I ended up here. I went to school in Mississippi for 2 years, dropped out. My sister got a job in St. Louis and kind of said, hey, she knew I was dropping out of college, asked the owner if they needed somebody to do video, which is what I do. And then she actually ended up getting me the job, and I never left. So, long story short, sorry I rambled a lot.
There you go.
But that's how I ended up in St. Louis, and that's kind of the story of my life. Is I moved because of my dad, and I got to do some cool things, though. I can't complain.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting that both of us come from vastly different backgrounds, vastly different upbringings, from vastly different parts of the world. Yet here we are, at my house playing Donkey Kong.
In your basement.
In my basement.
And
that's the story of level 2, in case you guys are interested.
In case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then me and Tom met, like he said in his we met at a job, and I don't even remember meeting you. Because sometimes you remember, like, the people when you meet them the first time. I don't think I remember our first interaction.
Yeah.
Probably was me just coming up and saying hi. Or you might have, because you were new at the time. I've worked at the place longer than Tom. I think you might have come up and asked a question or something. That's usually how it works.
It's quite possible. I mean, I think you're very amicable, if I remember.
Hey.
You generally are an amicable guy. So I was probably a fan of the fact that you were very friendly. And, yeah. There you go.
So I'm gonna try and finish this level before we end this.
Yeah,
episode.
we should try and end it on the end of a level.
I don't know how long we've been recording because I just ramble.
I think it's been at least.
It's been probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, at least a while.
At least a while.
We may have to cut this episode in half. We'll see.
Part 1, part 2.
Yeah, Keegan's story.
Keegan rambles.
Takes longer to finish.
Well, again, part of it's because I'm playing the game too. So like,
yeah,
that's true. And I don't finish my thoughts.
You get a certain amount of.
I feel like I need this for something
leeway. Okay.
Or we'll end there.
Good a place as any. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And if you have any comments, if you want to tell us cool stories of how you ended up doing your gaming channels or how you ended up where you are now, we'd love to hear them. Drop them in the comments. And thanks for watching.
And welcome to the second level. Your wife was like,
my wife.
Damn, this guy's hot.
No, she thought I was a creep. She was like, who is this guy?
Do you blame her?
Me he likes my picture.
Do you blame her?
He likes my picture.